Hello and welcome, it's me, Marls44, and welcome to an updated deck profile on Mass Magician Harri, post GCHB03, Rummy, Labyrinth, Under the Moonlight. So with the release of that special character booster set, we have some new support for Pale Moon, and I actually really like this support. It solved most of the problems the last one had, and I actually meant to do an updated deck profile before this one for Pale Moon, but I didn't get to it, so I didn't get to do that, and it's generally the same, this one, but there are some new changes with some of the new cards. So the deck is looking pretty good, it's looking pretty strong, and there's a lot of consistency. You know, once you hit that grade 3, the first G break activates. There's a lot of good consistency in everything. You don't do too much counterblasting. You don't do too much soul blasting. You got a good amount, and it's pretty balanced after this recent set release, and I'm pretty happy about it. I still love Pale Moon, and so happy about this. So our starting Vanguard is Cat Knight in Boots. What he does is Magia ability Auto Soul G-Break 1. When another of your unit is placed on Vanguard, call this unit to rearguard, and at the end of the turn, put this unit into your soul. And then his other skill is Auto G-Break 1. When this unit is placed on rearguard from your soul, choose up to one card not named Cat Knight in Boots from your soul, and call it to rearguard at the end of the turn. Put this unit, call with this effect, into your soul. So Cat Knight in Boots is so good for this deck. You basically can get 3 cards out so easily with him, using, depending on which card you call, whether it's a grade 2 or a grade 1 that calls something else. You could just use him for that, and it can get pretty crazy with that. He's just such a good Vanguard for that. You know, he's not really there for that boost. He's there for just repeatedly being able to call him from the soul and get just another unit. You always throw him behind your Vanguard, but he's just so good because of that. Then we got 4 of our main Vanguard, Harri. Still 4 of her. And then 4 of a new card, Masked Phantom Harri. So what she does is, once per turn, G-Break 2, Counterblast 1. When your rearguard is put into your soul, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a grade 3 with the Magia ability from your soul and put it into your hand. And her other skill is Auto. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, look at the top 2 cards from the top of your deck, put a card into your soul, and put a card on the bottom of your deck. And then Magia Auto Vanguard Soul Blast 1. During your turn when G unit stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card with the Magia ability from your soul, call it to rearguard, and at the end of the turn, put that unit into your soul. So she's pretty good as a backup Vanguard. I actually would say she's pretty good later on, honestly, because she helps so you don't use up too many counterblasts, so other units can counterblast, and you know, some of your stride units can counterblast. I think she's pretty good later on when your soul is pretty stacked up, and she could just use your useless soul to superior call things. Sure, they don't get a bit of power, but I think it's pretty good later on because, you know, it saves those counterblasts for the units you need them for, your stride units, maybe even something else. Generally, mostly your stride units, though. But it is very helpful. She's very good for that reason, and that's generally what I use her for. It's just when she's placed on Vanguard, and when a unit strides on her for later on. And then we have 2 Mysterious Creator. So what she does is Auto Rearguard G-Break 1. When this unit attacks Vanguard, it gets power plus 4k until the end of the battle. And then her other skill is Magia Auto Counterblast 1. When this unit is placed on rearguard from your soul, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card from your soul, call it to rearguard with in the same column as this unit, and at the end of the turn, put that unit into your soul. So she's really awesome because she can, you know, call something else out if need be. I usually don't worry about that, but you know, there are those times you kind of need it. I have a card that can kind of just call itself out when something else is called out, and Cat Knight in Boots also does that as well, so you could just throw it behind this 19k, right, with that plus 4k when it attacks a Vanguard. I really like this card too because it just gets the plus 4k, it doesn't force it back into the soul or anything. Sure, it's, 10k, but it's a pretty awesome rear guard, and it's only used for rear guard and can put down a lot of pressure while helping you set up a little as well. She's also really good with that, that grade 1 once she's in the soul, and that grade 1's in the soul that Superior calls something, because then you just don't have to use the counterblast to Superior call her, and she gets plus 5k, and then, she also gets plus 4k when she attacks, and the grade 1 is a 7k, so that's 26k, which is pretty awesome, honestly. On to grade 2s, we got 4 Dreamiy Pegasus. What she does is G-Break 1 when this unit is placed on rear guard. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, search for 1 card from among them, put it in your soul, and put the rest of them on the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, see, she's so awesome for the beginning of the game and just throughout. She can help you with the soul to get the cards you need into soul by checking the top 3, which is really, really big, ensuring you get, your important cards. And even if you have to soul charge something useless, you have it later for a few cards that can use soul and, can just get rid of that. So she's really, really awesome. And it's pretty awesome to spam with her too if you need to get more setup. With that grade 1 I was talking about before, just Superior call her, and if you don't have the grade 3, Superior call her, and get more setup with that, and you can just kind of like spam that, and it's pretty good calling her too. So she's just very, very, very helpful for setup, huge for setup, and I love her. Then we have 4 Face Magician Lappin. So what she does is Magia, once per turn, G-Break 2, Counterblast 1 if you have a Vanguard with Harri in its card name, choose a grade 1 card from your soul, call it to rear guard, and at the end of the turn, put that called unit into your soul. And then her other skill is Auto Rearguard when this unit attacks. If you have Vanguard with Harri in its card name, Soul Charge 1 until the end of the battle. This unit gets power plus 2k. And then if the Soul Charge card has a Magia ability, this unit gets plus 3k. So she's really awesome because when you don't have that grade 1 that I'm talking about yet, you can use her earlier on to get, some other grade 1s just on the field to make that column with her. And then her other skill is kind of the main reason I use her. Instead of Darkside Princess, she soul charges and she does not send herself back into the soul. Sure, she might have been called out, so she might still have to go back into the soul. But it's the fact that she can get the soul charge, and then if they have the Magia ability, she gets that 5k that Darkside would usually get. So it's a really, really big deal, especially because pretty much all your units have the Magia ability. So she's just much more impactful than Darkside Princess now because of that. Just such a good replacement card for Darkside Princess. And then we have 3 Spicy Clown. What he does is G-Break 1. When your other unit is placed on rear guard from your soul, choose up to one of your Vanguards, and that unit gets power plus 2k until end of the turn. So how the setup works later on into the game is you can Superior Call 4 cards from your soul. You're usually not able to Superior Call the 5th. Although if your stride unit can call out someone, what you usually do is use Harri to call out him, and then once he's called out, you use the stride unit to call out everybody else, because you call out one person, everybody else comes flying on the field, and you have a full field. He's just really awesome because he's a big, big power-up for not just himself, but your Vanguard, and it just makes him so strong because you have that, I can call out 4 units in one go. And he's just a very, very good pressure unit for that as well. Since your other 2 grade 2 units, yeah, they have a bit of pressure, but they're mostly for setting up. Moving on to grade 1s, we have another new P-Guard, Lovely Companion. So what she does is Magia, Auto G-Break 2, Soul Blast 1 when this unit is retired from Guardian Circle. If you have a Vanguard with Harri in its card name, you pay the cost. If you do, choose a grade 2 card from your soul, call it to rear guard, at the end of the turn, put that unit into your soul. She's a lot better than the other P-Guard that we got last time. A big reason is, yes, okay, she does use soul, but she's the card I was talking about that you want to get rid of crappy stuff in your soul. You use her and a couple stride units to get rid of the crappy stuff that's in your soul. So she's really, really good because usually most of, if not all of your units return back to the soul at the end of the turn. So she's really awesome because you can get a unit that can intercept, and you can have a bit more shield thanks to that. You have a unit that can intercept. Now, the reason I pick her over the other one that has a counterblast is because she just kind of gets rid of your useless soul, and you only get to use her like once or twice, and you have all these cards to set up with soul charges and specific soul charges. A lot of cards now. So having her in isn't too bad, especially because your stride units, you're only going to do it once or twice as well. And then, you know, your backup Vanguard, usually once or twice as well. Maybe you'll get it off 3 times for your P-Guard. It depends how long the game goes too, right? But she's just a lot better because she saves your counterblast for the units you really, really, really need them for. Because that's the problem that this deck had before. And then we have 4 Masquerade Bunny, your 4 Stride Enablers. And then 4 Cutie Paratrooper, you know, the one I'm talking about, this grade 1 that you would call out, you know, that grade 3 with that I was talking about earlier. The one that gets 4K when it attacks. So you combo it with her, throw her out first, and then throw out the grade 3. Or throw her out and then throw out the Darkside Princess replacement, Lappin. Cutie Paratrooper, just way, way, way too strong. Gotta play 4 of them. You need them. They're so important. Way too strong. Then we have 2 Brassie Bunny. So what she does is auto soul when another Pale Moon is placed on rearguard circle from your soul. If you have a Pale Moon Vanguard, you may call this card to rearguard. If you do, at the end of the turn, put this unit into your soul. She's really awesome because you call out everything from your soul, and she just gets a free call. All she has to do is be in the soul. She gets a free call. She goes back to the soul at the end of the turn. You only need 2 of her because she's 6K, and you only really want to call out 1. The other one you kind of want to leave to the Cat Knight, you know, your starter, and then the other one you want to leave to Paratrooper. So that's kind of your back row lineup. It's usually all 3 of them all the time. You never have duplicates usually. She's just very, very good because she just, you know, helps with not having to call another card and can be put behind quite a few people. The only one you can't put her behind is the Dreaming Pegasus. So she's very, very good for that reason and can just easily get superior called. And then we have 4 Darkside Swordmaster and 4 Poison Juggler, so 8 crit, and then 4 Skyhigh Walker, so 4 stand. I'm running the 8 crit 4 stand now because your units go back into your soul, so it is good to try to get as much pressure as you can with them. But I think 8-4 is pretty good, and you can still sometimes get a bit more off of the turn before all your units go back into your soul. So that's why I run 8 crit 4 stand. And then we have 4 Tender Breeder, so 4 heal, 8 crit 4 stand, 4 heal. On to our stride units, we have 4 One Who Tells the Demise Mephisto. He's still your best stride unit. He's just so strong. Still got to run 4 of him. And then we got 3 Carnivorous Megatrick Prana. Still a very, very strong stride unit. And then we have 2 Dreamiy Axel Milward. So we're still running her as well. Got 2 of her this time though. And then we have 2 Chainsaw Megatrick Furnival. So still running 2 of him. Pretty awesome for that specific soul charge setup. And we have 2 Jester Demonic Dragon Wandering Dragon. What he does is when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, soul charge 1, choose a card from your soul, and call it to rearguard. So he's pretty good for using, you know, those useless triggers that you're never going to call, and just being able to guard with them. And we have 1 Ardor Dragon Master Amanda, our starting stride unit. And finally onto our new stride unit, Parallel Megatrick Fairfield, 1 of him. So what he does is Magia, once per turn, G-Break 3, Counterblast 2, choose a card from your soul and drop zone, put them on the bottom of your deck in any order, choose a card from your soul, call it to rearguard, till end of turn, it gets power plus 10k, crit plus 1, and active rearguard soul blast 2 until end of turn, this unit gets plus 5k, and this unit cannot be chosen by card effects. Shuffle your deck, and at the end of the turn, put that unit into your soul. He's just kind of there for clutch moments. I don't usually use him. Usually he gets unflipped for Prana, but there are times I find I use him once in a while, and he is pretty helpful with that extra pressure, especially with that, you know, grade 3. If you get it into the soul along with stand triggers possibly, it can get pretty scary too. You could run 1 Masquerade Harri instead of Fairfield. I prefer Fairfield, especially because you now have units who can specific soul charge, and it's easier to get the units you want into the soul But yeah, you can run Dragon Masquerade Harri. I could see why you might want to run him instead. Both of them are pretty hefty with that 2 counterblasts, and I think that Fairfield is more worth it because he brings more pressure to the table, whereas Dragon Masquerade Harri just fixes your soul up a bit. So that's why I prefer Fairfield over him. And we have one Snow Element Blizza for ending those games that you cannot just end. Alright, well that's it for the updated deck profile of Harri. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, I really love this deck, and I really love the support they just gave to it too with all this new stuff. I think it really brings the deck out a lot more and helps it shine more too. Go ahead and try it out if you feel like it. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and that is it. We'll see you guys next time.